After camping out at Callan Station for the night, we all decide to leave the next morning to check up on the situation in hand. On the way out, I took a breakdown train. The crane I was in the sheds with us just in case if we saw a derailed engine on the line and needed help. Both me and Donald then filled up on extra coal and water, and off he went down the line to try to check to see what's going on and hopefully save our friends. Just then, as we were coming down to the coastal one, we heard a bell ring in the distance. We looked, and we immediately saw Toby coming down the tracks in the opposite direction with Henrietta. He was going pretty fast down the line, with his front wheels derailed from the track. Me and Donald both came to a halt, and we started whistling at him to either slow down or stop. Toby saw us and he immediately put on his brakes. Unfortunately, he crashed into a large rock that was on the wheels, causing him to derail. I then immediately went up to him, asking him why the heck he was going down the line at such fast speeds. But before Toby could answer, a large blue diesel came up on the line beside him. It was Diesel 199, the same diesel that broke down last summer with some tankers when he first came to Sodor. So Top Hat also sent him back home on that exact same day, but fortunately, since he's back here, it looks like he may also be on the bad side as well. He then told us that he was a part of resistance and that we were all coming with him to be scrapped. Just then, Donald came up to him face to face, telling him that that he doesn't scare him, that he will derail 199 if he even comes close to leaving a buffer on either me or Toby or Henrietta. 199 then growled angrily and then backed up down the line in defeat. So after that, my fireman quickly got in the breakdown crane and gently put Toby back on the wheels. Fortunately, Toby couldn't move, since he was damaged and was completely out of coal and water. Donald's fireman then quickly coupled him up to the back of Donald's put him on the main second line and come up to the back of Donald's tender. After that, we all set off down the main line once again on a mission. On a mission. As we continued on line, we saw a man in the distance waving a red flag at us. At first, I originally thought it was another terrorist way to take us hostage. But as we got closer and closer to him, we stopped him and leave. It was just Mr. Perkins, the retired engine driver who's now a signalman. We were all glad to see him, and he was glad to see us too. My driver asked him why he was in the middle of the field. Mr. Perkins told us the story next. He told us last night while he was in the signal box in Maryland, two men in massive dump trucks came up to him, then went inside his signal house and pinned him down to the ground and getting ready to shoot him. Luckily, the men had to quickly load the guns, and while doing it, Mr. Perkins broke free from the fire escape and ran away from the signal box as fast as he could to get away from the men. Mr. Perkins finished the story by saying that they camped out at Ellswood Station for the night, which is also where he got the red flag from. My crew then told him that they were happy that he survived. He then immediately hopped into Donald's cab to be his driver, since Donald's real driver was killed yesterday while he was a hostage. We then continued on the line with our main goal to get to Nafford Station, since Tom always makes us go there just in case anyone needs for an emergency meeting. On our way, we saw another surprise for us when we came to Lower Tiffin Station. Someone was peeking from behind the station building. My driver and fireman then went to take a look, and when they came around the bend to a siding, they saw that it was Rusty, the number 5 narrow gauge diesel on the line, on a flatbed. Toby then asked about what the heck happened. Rusty, whose face was barely peeking from behind the station roof, told him that he didn't know what happened, that he just woke up here early this morning. With my good eyesight, I immediately noticed a tube coming out of Rusty's side and connected to what looked like some sort of generator or something. My driver and fireman then came over to take a look at it, but before they could, we all heard a loud horn in the distance. They then both immediately scrambled back into my cab, and we all started off leaving poor Rusty behind in the process. After a few minutes of non-stop driving, we finally made it to Nafford Station. But then we immediately had to hide around the bends because of what we saw there. There was a meeting, true, but it was not the meeting that none of us were expecting. It was a different meeting. The meeting mainly consisted of diesels, road vehicles, and the same men that tried to kill us yesterday. Donald's fireman and Toby's driver then immediately climbed up onto the elevator track above us with some binoculars to get a better look. The diesels at the meet consisted for 199, the same diesel attempted to kill Toby earlier, Class 40, Alien Bridge Ironworks Trends, Splattering Dodge, who was sent away a few months ago, I guess Dirtbag as well, Diesel, who I was crossed with for betraying us, and finally, Diesel 10. We were all very frightened since Diesel 10, last time Diesel 10 was on Sodor, tried to end all of the steam engines on Sodor War. None of us had any clue why the hell Diesel 10 was back here. Anyways, Diesel 10 started talking. He was proud of everyone when said that his master plan was almost complete. He said it was all thanks to some little help from his Claw Pinchy, who then raised up and clinked a little bit before going back down, and also an old friend of his, who was standing on his right, Pete Fedor Boomer. Everyone had turned their attention to a man when he came onto the platform. PC Boomer, just Boomer for short, was the man that was arrested on the same day that Diesel 10 was sent packing. Boomer then started speaking and thanking everyone, including his men, revealing that those terrorists we saw yesterday were really working for him. Toby's driver then immediately pointed out the road vehicles that were there. The road vehicles consist of Bulgy, George the Steamroller, and the 3 hordes of lorries, 1, 2, and 3. It then became clear as well to all of us that everyone that was at the meeting had one thing in common. They were all villains. Just then, Splatternodge pointed out to Diesel 10 and Boomer that we were there as well. We were all scared out of our minds. They must have spotted us while we were there. Anyways, we quickly backed up on the main line as fast as we could. All of them started shouting at us to get back here. We didn't listen, so we continued on the main line as fast as we could, trying our best to get away from them. After waiting for our lives for a couple of minutes, we immediately came to me and Toad's shed. It was here that we heard a voice from inside. My crew then opened the shed doors, where we were all surprised as hell. In the sheds was Duck, who also had Annie and Clarabelle for some reason. We were all surprised to see him, and Duck told me that he was sorry for what he said 2 days ago. That he was wrong. I accepted his apology as we all went to his shed to hide from the villains. Once we were all called up, Donald told Duck about what they saw in Atford Station, and Mr. Perkins asked Duck why he had Annie and Clarabelle in the first place. Duck then told us that while he was coming on the main line earlier that day, he spotted Annie and Clarabelle on the main line stranded. He didn't know why they were there where Thomas was. He must have a couple from them. Anyways, Duck then told us that he took Annie and Clarabelle with him and they hid it in the shed for shelter. Annie was worried about Thomas. She said that we had to go back out and try to find him. My driver then told her that it was no use, that we'd been spotted, so we needed to hide low for a little while. Annie accepted it. Just then we all heard another whistle. Around the bend came another engine. None of us was more surprised than Donald.